What's going on, everybody? Dave Gunn here, JDH Reptiles. We're going to do clutch number 2 update. This one, I'm going to kind of, let's do this together. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. I'd love to hear your ideas. I believe I'm pretty confident with most, if not all of these. But if you guys have either seen these or produced them before and you have any insight, or if you just think the combination will be something different, by all means, I'd love to hear from you. Leave the comments down below. I'm going to do these in order, show you each animal, and at the end I'm going to kind of put a couple together and show you some differences. I don't know. We're going to just wing it, see what we can find out here. But the pairing on this, so the male, all genes are proven here. The male is a red stripe, 100% het for genetic stripe and clown. And the dam, the female, is a super pastel blackhead het G-stripe. So all the sheds, pretty much all the sheds I've collected. We've sent a couple off already to RGI for shed testing, and the others are still here, and I haven't decided which ones we're potentially going to keep or not. So none of these animals are on our Morph Market page yet, but they will be once I do a little bit more research on what we have here and what genetics could be. So with no further ado, we're going to jump into this. Remember, everything in this clutch is pastel at the minimum. Everything's pastel. So we're going to go through these and see what we've got. So let's jump into that. All right, guys, so we're going to start off a little different. Excuse me. I wanted to do this one first and get it out of the way so we can kind of talk about what I see here and what I believe is going on. So this obviously is not a hatchling. This is a male we produced, I believe last season or 2 seasons ago. I can't remember. This came from the same dam. So this is a pastel blackhead genetic stripe is what this is. Okay, I know that because of the pairing. I know that because of what we see here. So this is pastel because the mom is a super pastel. It's blackhead. You can obviously see why it's blackhead. And this is a genetic stripe because it was paired to a genetic stripe. And this is what we get. So you get this striping, but it's all washed out because of the pastel and the blackhead together. Okay, so I showed you that because I'm going to show you these two now. So keep him in mind. He's probably going to go out and about a bit. This one here is pastel. With the color tones, I believe this is red stripe. And obviously it's genetic stripe. So everything's going to be pas het for clown, but that doesn't have any factoring to this. This isn't just a pastel G-stripe. I've produced pastel G-stripes before in the past. So I don't think it's blackhead because if it was, the pattern would be washed out like it is on this guy. And this has a bold stripe. So I believe this is pastel red stripe. G-stripe. And then we have this one here. So this one, to me, gives me a little bit feels of like this one. And obviously this guy's gotten darker over time, but you can see where the pattern is really blown out, like this guy. There's really not a predominant back stripe, and I believe this back stripe will fade more as it grows. I believe this one to be pastel red stripe, blackhead G-stripe. That's what I think is going on here. And both these can be pas het for clown. So pastel red stripe G-stripe, pas het clown, pastel red stripe blackhead G-stripe, pas het clown. That's my guess. Love to hear what you guys think. But when I compare it to this animal here, I believe we're getting into the right territory. So that's what I think. So this will be number 1 and number 2. So here's number 3. Now, if I remember correctly, both of those are males, by the way, those last two I showed you. Once we get genetic testing back on whether or not they're het for clown, that'll decide what we're going to do with them. I believe one will get sold. I'm just not sure yet. All right, so moving on to number 3. This is a female. This will not be staying here. This one, I got a toss up here. I think it's just a pastel. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't have enough of that rich black to be blackhead. It does got a lot of the black bordering around the alien heads here. I'm going to come around so I can make sure you guys are seeing this. So, blackhead gives a lot of that black bordering around the alien heads. And it does have that, but it's not super, super clean like I would think a pastel blackhead would be. And I've made pastel blackheads, and we have a couple others that I'll show you after this. But just remember this one, guys. It's possible with all this black edging. This is pastel blackhead. I'm just not positive. It might just be a pastel. So I'm going to get some meals in it and then decide a little further. Maybe you guys can comment what you think. I don't know. I'm on the fence. I think this is a female pastel. Like I said, if it's blackhead, it's not super strong. I mean, it does have some nice flaming in here. And like I said, there is black bordering, so it could be pastel blackhead. But it's not amazing if it is. So that's going to be number 3. All right, now we're on number 4. I'm going to say it again because I know I didn't say it on that animal, but I want to remind all you guys. Where we didn't get any more G-stripes, by the way. Those are the only 2 that I showed you in the beginning. So everything here will be pos het for genetic stripe and clown. And RGI does test for both. I have pulled sheds aside for all these animals. So anything I do end up putting up for sale, you will get a shed from them that you could send off and have it tested, because I'm not going to test all these animals. We're moving on. This will be number 4. Now this one here, looking at the head, it's a little bit darker. Obviously everything's pastel. This one, you can see those black borders again. It's got some nice white flames. Get it a little closer here. This one, now I'm thinking this one might be pastel blackhead. I don't know. It's got a lot of this dirtiness in the alien heads, this granity kind of look to it. But again, this one's almost a little bit brighter than the last one, but I think the black outlining is a little bit better. Yeah, it's tough to say, but you could see like how nice the bordering is around all this. And blackhead does that. It gives you that black bordering around the alien heads. So I think this is pastel blackhead. I'm on the fence about the last one, but I think this is definitely pastel blackhead. And again, these are double pos het for G-stripe and clown. All right, those last 2 are females. This one is a male. This one, I believe, looking at the animals with the little experience I've got of certain genes here, I think this is pastel blackhead red stripe. Pos double het G-stripe clown. So obviously the alien heads change quite a bit. The amount of white and the brightness throughout the belly and in between the alien heads is ridiculous. The alien head shape, the keyholes and eyebrows in these things, obviously it has to be pastel. And we did produce a pastel red stripe, which I'll show you I think next. But looking at this has blackhead all day long. So this male is a pastel blackhead, double pos het, pastel blackhead red stripe, double pos het for genetic stripe and clown. And it's amazing. I love this thing. This looks so nice. This will probably be a whole back. I have to look and see if I sent the shed off on this one. If I didn't, I definitely need to do that, because I'd love to know what this one is, if it's het for G-stripe and or clown. But such a beautiful animal. very cool. We'll move on to the next one, but I really like that one. I think it turned out just spectacular. All right, guys. And this is the next one, and this one I believe to be pastel red stripe. I don't think there's blackhead in this. Even though it does, like, definitely on a dorsal, has a lot of that black around the edges. You don't see it as much in the alien heads or around the alien heads. But that color, I mean, that is definitely a red stripe pastel in my opinion. This is also a male. It's also possible het for genetic stripe and clown. And I believe this one I want to have shed tested too, so we know what we got here. But man, the color, the tones, I love this coloration here in between the alien heads. It's so bright, so beautiful. That is such a cool looking animal. As always, I wish some of these were females, but a lot of these males are definitely power packed. And depending what they prove out for genetically, they could be super powerhouses to definitely move your projects forward. So this is definitely one of those animals where if we don't hold it back, you're going to want to jump on it because it is just stunning. And it's an amazing animal. So pastel red stripe, Pos double het G-stripe clown. And I just wanted to go back here just to compare. So this is where, again, pastel red stripe, and I believe this to be pastel blackhead red stripe. So this was the one previous to this one. And you can see a difference. The darkness in the head, the darkness overall in the body, but the change in the alien heads, I mean, such a beautiful animal, both of them. But you can see the difference in the two. So there we go. All right, here's the next one. So this one I'm torn a little bit on. This one screams to me pastel blackhead red stripe. It's tough to say, but when I look at those sides and I see like this coloration and all the white throughout, I want to say this has to have red stripe as well. It's definitely pastel and blackhead. The head's too dark to not be pastel blackhead. But I really think this has got red stripe also. I mean, the pattern, it just, I don't know, as much as the polymorphism between this one and the other one, you know, and the alien head's looking a little different, I really believe this has got red stripe too. So this one is a male also, but it's beautiful. Turned out really nice. So I think, again, this is pastel blackhead red stripe, Pos double het G-stripe clown. So really nice looking animal. Let me know if you agree or disagree with any of these. I'd love to know. All right, guys, and every year we at least have a couple that miss their first shed. And this is going to be the same thing. So I can't really be for sure what we got here because it hasn't shed. It's, as you can see, it's super shiny still. But looking at it overall, I would say it's definitely pastel, probably pastel blackhead red stripe, honestly. I'm not sure. It's going to, you know, things will change when it sheds. But again, looking at it, it's got those black borders, really rich black borders. Everything has to be pastel. And again, the high white along the belly coming up, it just screams red stripe to me. So I look forward to this one shedding. I think this is, let me look. I think this is a female. I don't remember. Nope, it's a male. Of course it's a male. So, is this whole clutch a male? Yeah, I think everything here is a male. Maybe we got one female. But anyways, so this one, again, still needs a shed. If it doesn't shed by next week, it'll be offered food. And a lot of times they'll take food, and then usually getting that food in them will help bust their shed loose. But yeah, another cool one here. If we got multiple pastel blackhead red stripes, I'll probably shed test the majority of them and then sell if not all of them. I'll sell at least half of them or more and just keep one. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I do otherwise have sheds separated for all these animals. So any that will go up on Morph Market, you will get a shed along with your animal if I haven't already shed tested it. So that's the clutch for clutch 2. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Please leave your comments down below. You know, if you want to number the ones you saw in order, and let me know what you think. If you think I got something wrong, or you just want to talk about how nice something looks, or if you're interested in one of them, whatever it may be, leave that down below. I'd love to hear from you. I love sharing what we hatch, and I'm always listening and willing to take our people's advice or what they think they see different from what I see. I know I don't know all the combos, especially things I haven't done before. I'm just kind of looking at the genes in play and kind of predicting what I believe theoretically they would look like together. So thanks again, guys. Appreciate your support. Thanks for swinging by. I won't keep you any longer. Check the links down below, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.